Hi everyone, this is our next video on working through this Battletop Toy SkillsUSA competition. So we have at this point made the housing, the cone, the ratchet, the top assembly using those three parts, the spin pin, and now we're on the trigger. So this is what it looks like. This is actually the completed model of it. Looks really cool. And it's a challenging part for sure, but it is definitely satisfying to have a look at this once you're done with it. In terms of where it's placed, you can see it here. This is what pretty much releases the top once you've spun it using the spin pin, and you press on it, and then that releases the top. So that's where this goes in the entire thing. So make sure if you're on your main page, you go into your Battletop Toy SkillsUSA file. I would also recommend you put, if you haven't already, put your parts into different files. So I put all the top parts, which is the housing, ratchet, and cone, and top assembly, all within this folder. And then now I'm putting the remaining ones, spin pin onward, in the housing parts folder. You can do that by clicking on plus and then clicking on create folder and then dragging all the necessary parts or appropriate parts into the appropriate folder. So I'm actually going to delete this, which is sad because I put in a lot of work into that. And I'm going to start from scratch. Come on, delete. I don't think it wants to delete. I guess I'll have to keep it. Well, anyway, we'll create a new part studio. So click on the plus, then click on create part studio. There we go. It just looks like this is a little bit slow. I'm gonna make sure I didn't accidentally delete anything. Housing cone. Oh, except I'm not, I don't know what happened. I think this is just being a little slow. All right, here we go. Now I can click on plus, create part studio. Here it is. I'll rename this to, we're on the trigger now. So I'll name it trigger. And we'll get started. So for the most part, what we're going to do is create a completely solid version of this and then hollow it out. So it looks pretty scary, like from the side. How do you go ahead and make all these complex angles and so on? It's not going to be as hard or as insanely hard as it probably looks. We'll be able to create the outside, a 2D version of the outside, make some extrusions. We'll use the shell tool to hollow it out. And that's pretty much going to be it. The hardest part for sure is going to be making the 2D sketches, like this one here. But anyway, let's start with this. I'm going to start with this cylindrical portion, all the circles. Then I'll make this, which is pretty much the what you press down. Then I'll make this cylindrical extrusion over here, this one. Then I'll make a shell of everything. And then there's a small extrusion in there, and this extrusion up here. And that'll be it. So here's what I'm going to do. Since you have this strange, I mean, of course, here we can see this is just a standard cylinder because from the side it's straight. You can even see it in the picture. It's just your standard circle or in the isometric view. But then we have this slanted part over here. So what I'm thinking is, well, we'll start a new sketch, as always. I think I'll do top. Hide all of these. Right click, view normal to plane. And I think what I'll do is I will draw this view right here and then revolve it around this middle axis to get this cylindrical shape, rather than creating a circle like this and then extruding it. So I think that's going to make it a little bit easier for making this part right here. But I'll even get out my annotation tools and make sure I'm drawing what exactly it is I'm making. So let's go ahead and make this. Now, with the revolve, you're not going to make the entire thing. You're not going to make the entire thing. You're only making half. So rather than all of this, we're only going to be drawing, we'll do from the above portion of this line. So I'll clear that. I have to clear everything. And then I'll do this again. So I'm going to be drawing this. So I'll make that line first. That one right here. What is the length of that line? So there's a lot of drawings here, which means we have to do a lot of looking around. And this takes time, it takes practice. This circle here, this cylinder, has a radius of 0.42. Radius of 0.42. We are not including this outer rim right now. We'll do that a little bit later. So now I have to line everything back up. Again, this circle has a radius of 0.42. That means the length of this light blue line that I made is going to be 0.42. So I'll make a line from the origin going up. Oh, make sure it's actually on the origin. Going up. Dimension it. 0.42. Good. Then we'll zoom in. Now we can have it at a better size. This one's also not too bad. We're going to now draw this line here. Going over to the left, that's 0.32. So here's the line tool. Go left. Can't type right now. You have to set it down anywhere and then dimension it. Oh, gotta change it to 0.32. And then I might as well just complete this rectangle here. So line tool, we'll continue on, make sure you're in line with this origin, and then finish the box. So this right now, I could end the sketch and revolve this around to make this cylinder, but I'm also going to make this top part, the part right above it. So what do we have? Well, the question to be asked is, where is this line located? Well, it appears, maybe we can draw this line before. So I'll make a line right here. I get my line tool. I'll draw a line, but how long does that need to be? Well, from here to here is 0.49. And this other height right here is 0.32. So it has to be the difference between those. 0.49 minus 0.32. So we'll get the dimension tool. And I'll say it's 0.49 minus 0.32, which is 0.17. So we can see there. Good, so we know where this is located. And we can draw this line, but how long is it going to be? So we need to go around and have a look for where that location, for what that size may be. Now, as usual, it takes a bit of time and a bit of practice to figure that, to find all the dimensions necessary. It's looking like right here we have that answer. It's looking like the diameter of that upper circle is 0.79. So that means this length right here needs to be half of 0.79 because we're only drawing half. Keep that in mind. We're not drawing the whole distance across the circle, only half of it. So I'll type in 0.79 divided by 2 to get the radius. Good. Okay, we'll move back over here. So we just successfully drew this, and now we can draw a line connecting these 2 points. As we can see here, though, there is a fillet, a curved corner. So we do need to figure out what that is. Doesn't seem like there's a dimension there for a fillet radius. It's not going to be on the top view. It doesn't appear to be on this view either. It's not going to be over here. There are notes on the next page, so let's go have a look at that. There's probably notes telling us how big the radius is going to be, and it says it right here. Unless otherwise stated, all rounds are 0.04. They could have been a little bit clearer on this and say that the radius is 0.04, but I guess that they're leaving that as implied. So all rounds are 0.04 unless otherwise stated. There is nothing stating otherwise, so we will assume that, I'll try and get it back in line. I don't think I can quite get it. There we go. This round needs to have a radius of 0.04. So I'll get my fillet tool. Between these 2 lines, I want a fillet of radius 0.04, just like that. That's good. So that's pretty much it for this cylinder. Well, it's not a perfect cylinder, but now we have that outline. Now we can finish the sketch, orbit around, have a look at how nice our sketch is, and then get out the revolve tool. We want to revolve these 2 faces around what would be this center line, which is right over here. So click on revolve axis. So Onshape knows that's what we want to select now. It's going to be either of these lines. And there it is. There is your revolved cylindrical piece as shown right over here. We'll click OK, and then we can move on. So I'm going to clear my drawings, and we'll go to the next piece. Now, the next piece I want to do is, we'll call this the handle, because this is what you're going to push down in order to trigger the top and get it to start spinning. So we'll call this the handle. From the side profile, we will draw this and then extrude it both ways to get the entire width. So we're going to have to deal with this side profile. Now, what we're going to want is to draw on a plane that cuts right down the middle of this. Let's see. So I'm hovering over. Well, it's not really showing, so maybe I'll turn on the top plane. Actually, it looks like that top plane is going to be perfect. It's cutting right through, so that's what we want. So I'm going to draw a new sketch on the top plane. Right-click View Normal to Sketch, and I'll hide the top plane from view. Good. Now, if you want to be in the exact same orientation as this, I'll turn this. So now both cylinders are facing the same way. Now it seems, how are we going to make this? Well, we do have this arc over here, and it looks like they're telling us where the center is. So let's figure out where that circle is. Let's draw the circle and place it in the appropriate location. All right, so circle tool, center point circle, click anywhere, set it down anywhere. We do have a radius here, 0.34, so we can dimension it. But it's asking for diameter, so we have to do 0.34 times 2 to get the right size. Where's the center? Well, it is, our origin is right on this midline, and we know that it is down 0.95 from the origin, so we can dimension between the center of the circle and the origin and make sure we get the, not like that, how do I want the, maybe I'll try it again. You're gonna want, not that, you just move your mouse around there. That's what we want right over here. Might have to move over. We want that vertical height. This is 0.95. What about the horizontal position? Looks like we have it right here. Keep in mind, we haven't drawn this rim yet, this lower portion yet. So right along, this is the bottom of the trigger. From there up is 0.60. So from the origin to the center of the circle again, but this time we're getting that horizontal length. And this is 0.6 or 0.60. So the circle is positioned perfectly. This is exactly where it's supposed to be. The question is, how much do we trim off? Well, we're going to have to draw the rest of this. So let's make this line right here. We can get all the appropriate lengths as necessary, but we can start by just putting down the line. I know that the line is going to be lying on the circle, and it seems that the line will continue and intersect right over here where my mouse is. The only problem I'm seeing is that I can't actually click on it, which is a problem. So what I need to do is actually escape. And I need to, because I want to use this line. I want to use it. So there is a use tool that allows us to use the object. So I want to use that. And just to be sure, I'm going to click both of these in case I do need to use these lines in my sketch. Now I'll try this again. I'll get my line tool, click on the circle, click on this slanted line, but make sure you don't accidentally click on the midpoint because then it's going to get locked there. You want it anywhere else on the line, but don't snap to the midpoint. Okay. Now, what about the actual positioning of that line? We have the endpoints in almost the correct place, but not at the right angle necessarily. So we do have an angle here. It appears there's this horizontal line, and to that horizontal line, we have an angle of 68 degrees. That's what this line, so this line is at 68-degree angle to the horizontal. So we can create a construction line and actually make a dotted one. And here's how you do that. You click on line, and I have to go looking for it. There it is, right here, construction. So you have line and then construction, and you can make this temporary dotted line that isn't actually part of, it's not an object line, so I can't make any extrusions from it or any 2D faces from it, but it's there for this specific purpose of dimensioning everything and constraining everything. So I can get my dimension tool now, and I want to make an angle between that horizontal construction line and this slanted line here. Now that needs to be 68 degrees. There, good. It also appears, well, you can see that this line is still blue, which means, it means something. It means I can still move it around. Yes, look at this. So I can't move the angle of it, so that's locked in, but I can move this line up and down. So I need to figure out where that's supposed to be placed. It's looking like here that this slanted line intersects with this top piece. Seems like 0.38 from the bottom. So I need a horizontal, I need a dimensional constraint for this. So between here and the bottom, just like that, make sure it is horizontal and not vertical or anything like that. That's supposed to be 0.38. So it's actually very close where I had it just now. There, now it's locked in completely. Okay, so we have, let me get my annotation out so I can show you what we've done so far. We've made this line. We haven't made the fillet yet. We will once we trim the circle. We do have the arc. Again, just don't know where we're trimming yet. We also have this, we sort of have this line because we clicked on use and then we brought that over. So now it is forming a face. If we didn't click on or use the use tool for this line, it wouldn't be a part of the sketch. And then this face that we're trying to make would be open and we wouldn't be able to extrude it or anything like that. So we have that. We do need to make this vertical line here and then this horizontal line here. Okay, well, so let's make that then. So I'll make this vertical line going down. Let me go back up to line tool. I'll click on this endpoint here. I'll go all the way down, click anywhere. Just don't snap to any particular point. Just make sure that it's completely vertical. What I need to see though is how long this line is supposed to be. And it doesn't seem to show it over on this view. So maybe if I go over to this one on the right, will it show us? Doesn't show that one either. Maybe this one? No, that doesn't show us anything. This one over here? Yeah, here we go. From the center of that cylinder all the way down to the bottom of the trigger, not including the rim. That's 1.135. So, oh, that's pretty good. Let me get a decent color for this. From here to here is 1.135. So let me get my dimension tool out now. So from the origin to the very bottom of this, that's supposed to be 1.135. Let me check that I brought that over. Yes, 1.135. Good. And then we know where that endpoint's going to be, so we can take our line tool, click on this bottom endpoint, and then move it horizontally over to the circle. Good. You can see here it's grayed out, which means we have an enclosed face, which we will be able to extrude. But before we do that, we do have to trim the circle now because we know where this arc starts and ends. So where's my trim tool? It should be under the modify area. And then there's trim. I'll click on this circle. I don't need it anymore. And yeah, we're almost there with this sketch. The only other things are these rounds, these fillets. It doesn't seem like there's saying anything otherwise. Let me move over here, see if there's, nope, no other dimensions, which means we can assume based on the notes from the other page that the fillet needs to be 0.04 radius. There's fillet, click between this line and the curve, and it's automatically assuming that it's 0.04 because that's what I had before. I'll click out of there and then I'll do it again between this line and this arc, and then click out of there. Oh, whoops, be careful, I just moved my middle mouse button. I'm going to try this again, 0.04. There, that's it. Now I'm going to press escape so I don't accidentally try to fillet anything again. Good. This is pretty much done. Is it completely done? Not exactly, and I'll show you why. You can see here, the line does extend out a little bit more. Let's see why that's the case. So I'm going to end the sketch, but I will come back to it. What I will need to do is extrude. And since, well, at this point I can erase my drawings. can see here, we drew a sketch right down this midline. So I have to extrude both ways, meaning I should use the symmetric option. I do want to add material, and you can even see there's an error. Because here's what's happening. What's happening is, since our sketch only goes up to here, and I need to go left and right, there's all this little area that's not going to be included, which is a problem. And you can see that there's an error here as well, because this piece is not completely connected to the original cylindrical piece. So I need to go back into my sketch and make a very, very quick modification. So I will exit this, cancel the extrusion, go back into the sketch, view normal to plane. All you need to do here is extend these objects a little bit further. So extend this line a little bit further. Doesn't matter how long, just, make it extra long, so you know for sure that the entire extrusion will be connected to the cylinder. Go down and connect back to this line. Good. Now I should be able to, you can see it here, once I extrude this, it should stay within and connected to the cylinder. Okay, extrude. Let's get this face, and I want this other face, but it doesn't seem like I click on it, which is obviously a pain. So what can we do? I'm gonna have to cancel again. Here's what you can do. You can take this entire object. Oh, I don't want to lose that. I just want to take this cylinder. So if you don't want to, remember that there's a difference between dragging from the right to left, you can see it's yellow, and from left to right. When you drag from left to right, only the things that are fully enclosed in the box are going to be selected. So not including this face, but actually it is including that sketch, which I don't want selected. So maybe here's what I'll do. I'll start from the right and make sure that only the cylinder is touching. Now I can make this transparent by right-clicking, clicking on Make Transparent, and finally I can click on the Extrude tool, click on both faces. We want it to go in both directions, so we'll change blind to symmetric. And total distance going across is 0.42, so the depth needs to be 0.42. I'll press enter, see that happen. Yep, there it is. It's transparent, but you can kind of see it. And it goes in both directions. It would be 0.21 in both directions to make a total of 0.42. Click OK. And then I will right-click and click on Exit Make Transparent. And there it is. Very nice. One modification we need to make, let's check this out. You can see here that there are fillets going around this edge. So we do need to apply that. Let's get our 3D fillet tool. Do we have anything telling us the radius of these rounds? Have to look around, make sure that's the side view. Doesn't look like there's anything, so we'll assume based on the notes this needs to be 0.04 radius. Good, then I will click on the edges. Make sure you click on this edge, any one of these, because if you click on the face, that it will make too many fillets. We don't want that bottom edge curved. So I'm going to undo that. You only want these top edges. So click on one of them, and then it will only have this portion turned into a fillet. Same on the other side. Any one of these edges, maybe that one. See, it follows all the way around, but not at the bottom. Click OK. All right, it's really coming along quite nicely. Quite pretty good. Let's now make this long cylinder right here. So let's make that. Not going to be too difficult at all. Where is... Well, we can see where the center of this circle is going to be. We'll ignore the plus for now. Center of the circle is going to be 0.9 from the very center of the cylinder. Well, while we have that information, let's start a new sketch on this bottom face. Right click, view normal to sketch plane, and I'll orient this in the same way. I know I need a circle, so I'll draw a circle. I know it's going to be in line with this origin, so I will draw a circle somewhere around here. Make it any size. And I know that the center, so I'll dimension, I know that the center is 0.9 from this origin, so I will dimension between these 2 points and type in 0.9. Now I will need to look around and see if I have a radius or diameter for this circle. Yeah, here we go. Diameter of 0.3 for this inner circle. So I will get my dimension tool and I'll dimension this with a radius of 0.3. Well, now what about this outer circle? Doesn't look like we have a dimension for that. So let's check out the text, the notes, because that probably tells us. It does tell us all wall thicknesses are 0.05. That very likely means that the distance between these two circles is 0.05. So we'll use our offset tool. There's offset. Click on this circle and we'll offset outward 0.05. So I clicked on offset, I clicked on the circle. Now I'll click away, and now it prompts me to change the offset distance, and that needs to be 0.05. Good, that's exactly what we want. Now, as you can see here, this cylinder does get extruded inside and outside, but we're not there yet. So I'll just extrude downward. Well, I'll finish the sketch and I'll extrude that downward. How much? Okay, so from this bottom face, not including the rim, from this bottom face, it looks like we're going to be extruding this outward 0.65. Extrude tool, get the ring here. That's perfect. We just need to change this to 0.65 and then click OK. All right. Good stuff. Before I make this hollow, last thing to do before I make this hollow, I'm going to make this outer rim over here. As you can kind of see, yeah, here it is. So we made, if I get my annotation, we've made this piece, this inside outline. Very simply, we can use the offset tool, create a sketch and use the offset tool to create this outside outline as well. So I will start a new sketch. New sketch. I'll click on this bottom face. Right click, view normal to sketch plane. You don't have to, but I'm going to change my orientation so it's the same. And now we'll do offset. So I'll offset this. I want to offset that, 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 that. I don't want to offset these inner circles. I want to offset all this. I'm going to drag out because I want it to go outside. Click away. And now it prompts me for the offset distance. It doesn't say anywhere the offset distance. Oh, actually, it does right here, 0.05. But that's exactly what was in the notes section. So we would have figured that out anyway. But this offset needs to be 0.05 going outward. Then it seems we're done with that, and we can extrude this bottom rim 0.05. So we can extrude that down 0.05. So extrude, I want to extrude this whole thing, and I even want to extrude the bottom, or the inside part as well. I want to extrude that just 0.05. Enter, that's good. That's perfect, just like that. Good. Click OK, and there it is. Now after this shell, you might be getting a little tired. After we make the shell, this might be a good place to take a break. So let's do the shell, and if you need to take a break then and come back to this later, that would be a good time. So we'll get the shell tool that will hollow this out. Where is it? It should be, oh, not fillet. We want to shell. Here it is. That is what creates the fillet. Sorry, that's what creates the hollowed object. Shell thickness, that's the wall thickness that we want to keep. So that wall thickness is going to be 0.05, which we got from the notes section. And then we click on this bottom face because this is what we want to open up. Just like over here, we see that it opens up. It's figuring it out, and there it is. It's completely opened up. Pretty good. Pretty good. Good, now we can click OK. And at this point, this is probably a good time to take a break. So if you need to do that, go ahead and do that and then come back. But we can also continue from here. So I'm going to continue. We have some things to fix. We can finish this cylinder, and we do have to fix something over here. You can probably see that there's a gap right there. That should not be there at all, as you can see over here. There is no opening. So I'm going to have to fix that. What I'll do is make a new sketch on this plane. Do view normal to sketch plane. And I'll use keyword use. Where's the use tool? I'm going to use these shapes, and then I can extrude this face downward so I fill that in as needed. So I'm using the use tool to project these shapes onto this sketch, and that's all. Click OK, and now I can extrude. Going the wrong way though. Yeah, add, I want to go the other way. I don't want to go all the way through. I only want it to go up to probably the next face. Let's have a look. Does it go all the way through? Well, I'm not too sure. I think it is. I want it to go all the way down to here. But if you're not sure, just to be safe, you can click up to face and make sure it is going up to this curved face over here. All right, now I can kind of see it. Now that that's done, oh, I can click the check mark. We can see here now that that's filled in. I do need to continue this cylinder though, all the way down. So that's not too difficult at all. I believe we can continue to use the extrude tool. And I don't know if it's going to be easy to get in there. Well, here's what I can do, because I can't get the bottom ring. That's too hard to find. So I can click on this top ring, and I can make a new extrusion going the other way. Make sure it is on add because I want to add material and I do want it to go up to this curved face over here. Just like that. Click OK and you can see that that has been filled in now. So it's looking good. That's what we want it to look like. You can even see it right over here. The last piece of this, though, is that there's something flat in here. It might be maybe not super obvious. Oh, actually, we have a circle right in here that shouldn't be there. So let's make sure that that is also gone. So I'm going to click on extrude. If there is a circle there for you, let's make sure we'll remove some material. And I'm going to remove not too much. I'll do up to next. You can probably see now it's completely hollowed out in there. And down at the bottom is a curved face. But we don't need a curved face for the whole thing. It looks like there's something flat there. If we take a closer look at what's supposed to be down there, there's that plus. So how do we make that plus? Well, it seems like the top of the plus, having a look here that we have this section that's going through part of that plus, looks like the top of it is 0.85 from the very bottom of this cylinder. So to draw where the top of this plus is going to be, I'll make a sketch plane that's 0.85 from the bottom here, and I'll make it go all the way up to here. So I do need to make a plane for this. I'll click on the plane tool. I want to offset from this top ring. You can see there's this new plane. I want it to go in the other direction, so flip. And as we see here, it should be 0.85 from there. Now there it is. So this plane right here is this line right over here. That's good. Click OK. And we're going to create a new sketch on that plane 1, on that new plane. You can click on the plane in the model space or in the features window. And now we have this new sketch plane. So we'll do right click, view normal to sketch plane. Since we have this sketch plane, we no longer need this plane 1 visible. That can go away. And now we can make that plus. Let's get the actual details of this, though. Here it is. There's a couple different ways you can go about this, but here's how I would do it. Keep it real simple. I do want to use this circle because that's part of the sketch. You can see, am I able to see? I can't land right on the circle because I want to draw lines that land right on this circle. So I have to use the use tool. Click on the circle. And now if I try to make a line, I can actually snap right on this circle. I'm going to draw lines going down through the quadrants. So along the diameter like this, a vertical line and escape, and then line tool again, this time a horizontal line. You might have to start at the midpoint so you know where that quadrant is and then go across. And there you have a line. But those are only there temporarily. What we do have are lines to the left and right, above and below these lines. So I'll draw more lines just like that. Don't have to be perfect with, oh, what did I just do? Don't have to be perfect with the location. We'll use constraints to fix those to where they need to be. So I'm just drawing a whole bunch of lines right now, going across. See, that one's clearly very far apart. And then over here. These lines do need to be symmetric about this line in the middle. So I need to use the symmetric constraint right over here. So I want these two lines to be symmetric to this middle line. And see, it fixed itself now. Again, I want these two outer lines to be symmetric to this middle line. The last part here is to dimension correctly. The top and bottom line need to be 0.03 apart. 0.03. Same with this left and right line. 0.03. And now for a lot of trimming. So since we're all done with the sketch and we know where these lines are supposed to land, I'm going to trim a bunch of things that we don't need. Don't need that or that or that. Oh, I'm going to undo. Make sure you don't accidentally trim a line that you do need. I can delete that entire line and this entire line. I just need to trim this and that and that. Good. Now all that's left over is the plus itself. And these lighter lines are part of the dimension line, so I can't really do anything about that. So click OK. Our plus is down there. You can see it's all the way down there inside. And it seems that based on this sketch, that plus is going to be extruded all the way down to the, or up to the curved face. So orbit in there so you can get to the plus, click on extrude, click within this plus sign. And it is going the wrong direction. Right now it's coming out. We need it to go the other way. And we want it to go up to the next face, up to that curved face. And if we zoom in, you can really see that. There, that plus, let me get a better angle here. There we go. That plus has gone all the way down to that curved face, just like we needed it. Click OK. That is the cylindrical portion with the plus. So the only bits left, this hole right here, and this patterned extrusion over here. So to deal with, you see it over here, it's not very clear over here either, but there is a little bit of an extrusion under here as well that we have to deal with. You can kind of see it in the hidden lines here as well. So we do have to make that. Let's have a look for where we can get that information. We're not going to get it from here. Actually, right over here. This view on the right seems to have all that information. So let's get this annotation in here. Well, let me zoom in first. And then I can start drawing. So we have a circle, kind of a cylinder here. So this is a circle, and we know that for sure because it says diameter 0.79. So how about I draw that right on top? Make sure I'm on my mouse. Good. So I'll make this sketch right on this top plane with a circle of, right-click view normal to sketch plane. Then circle center point right at the origin here. Any size, but then we'll dimension it to 0.79. Sorry, not 0.79. That's not right. It doesn't look like I actually have the right one. No, so that's not 0.79. That was something else. Let me go around looking for the correct size. Do we have no circle dimensions here? Nothing here. What about in this section view or this detail view? Really, it might be 0.62. Let's confirm that. So that top circle, yeah, right here. That's what this ring is. It goes inside and it even comes outside. So that, yeah, that circle of 0.62, that's the dimension we should be dealing with. So not 0.79, but 0.62. Good. That's 0.62. Now what I'll do is, you can see, especially over here, that it does get extruded down. Right now, let me make clear where we are. We are drawing on this plane right here. So I have to take that circle, extrude it up a little bit and down. So how much in both directions is the question. We'll finish the sketch. And we'll have a look around. Do we have anything here? Yeah, so we're going to extrude downward 0.21. Easy enough. So extrude down. Well, that's up, so I'll flip the direction. Do want to add, and that's supposed to be 0.21 based on this right here. So that's good. I'll click OK. And then I do need that back, so I have to show this sketch. For me, it was sketch 7, and I need to extrude it upward as well. So extrude it up, but how much? Once again, we have to go looking. It's not in that one. It is in this one, 0.06 right here. So that's the extrusion height, 0.06. There it is. Click OK. Now we can see from here that we have a hole in the middle. So clearly there's a circle here of diameter 0.52. So I'll draw a new sketch right on this face. Right click, view normal to sketch plane. And I will draw a circle from this center. And that should have a diameter of 0.52, like that. That's it for this sketch. And we'll extrude it in that direction up through this solid cylinder so we can create this open space. So extrude, click on that new circle, other direction, and we do want to remove material. But how far up are we going? We're not going all the way through. It appears, because they're not telling us otherwise, but it does appear that the top of this hole is in line with the top plane here. So that means we're going to extrude upward the same distance of 0.21. So we'll type in 0.21. And click OK. That should make it a little bit clearer. Yep, there we go. Oh, you can even see that sketch still. We don't need that anymore. I'll hide sketch 7. That looks clearer. You do see here, though, that there is another hole. You might be able to see that elsewhere. I probably don't need those drawings anymore. You can see here it's hollow. Sort of see it there, a little glimpse of it. Not very clear over here, but yeah, you can kind of see that there is meant to be a hole there. So how big is that? It's saying here 0.37 diameter of a circle. So new sketch right on this top plane. Right click, view normal to sketch plane. Make a circle. Oh, make sure that it is on the origin though, so I can use my coincident constraint. Coincident constraint makes sure that 2 points are right on top of each other. And then dimension this to be a diameter of 0.37. I typed it in and there it is. Good, then very simply take the extrude this. Oh, and we already have it. Extrude that other direction We want to remove material, and doesn't matter what distance we put in as long as it does go all the way through. So click OK. Click OK, and there. That should be good, but something doesn't look quite right there. Looks a little too thick. What's up with that? So maybe it looks fine up here. Maybe I didn't extrude enough through. So I'll double check what it should have been. This extrusion here. I'll double click that. I did put in 0.21. Let me double check this. What was not that one. Maybe it was that one. Is that 0.21? Oh, I made that too big. I made it 0.31. So definitely make sure you're putting in the right numbers there. 0.21. That looks better. This face doesn't look as thick as it was before. That looks a lot better. All right, we are on to our final part of this drawing. We have everything else here except for this pattern up at the top. This is just a 2D sketch and an extrusion. So let's make our final sketch right at the top here. We'll right-click to view normal to sketch plane, and all of that information that we need for this sketch is in this detail view right here, detail B. So how are we going to approach this? Well, what information do I have? Well, I have this circle. Is that circle part of this sketch? Well, we'll make sure we'll use the use tool, because I am going to need that circle clearly as a reference. What else do we have? We have the radii of these arcs, 0.35, but we don't know where the centers of these circles are. So we might not be able to use this just yet. What about these lines? We know the length of each segment. We know the angle that this segment is at. So, and we know where they start. This one starts right at the bottom quadrant. So I'm probably going to need to make all of these line segments first, and then fill in the spots with the arcs, given any extra information I do have. All right, so I know I'm going to have to use the line tool. I have a line that is starting right at this bottom quadrant. You might have to hover over the center and then go all the way down. I'll click there and then make any length segment here. Make sure it's not snapping to any other constraint. Like right now for me, it's trying to snap to the tangent constraint. Make sure it doesn't do that, because you might have issues afterward. Make sure it's kind of free, like right there is fine. Then we could do some things like dimension it. So it needs to be this aligned dimension. It needs to be 0.07 in length. So that's good. And we do have an angle. So we're going to have to make a construction line to make this angle with, because we have an angle between this short line segment and this vertical midline. So I will get out the construction tool, and I can make a line. Oh, I think I have to, sorry, I have to click on line tool and then construction, and then I can make this line. Now I can use the dimension between this construction line and this line segment. So I want that angle, but it's not letting me right there though. So if you know your information about vertical angles, this angle right here is congruent to this angle right here. So that's the one we're going to have to deal with. So this is going to be the same as this one, 22 degrees. So it's okay if it's not in the exact same location. Look at my mouse. This is supposed to be 22 degrees. There, and now this line segment's black, which means it is locked in. You can't move it. So that's perfect. We can use the circular pattern tool to place that line segment in other locations as well. So I'll get my, I think it's under modify. Yep, here we go, circular pattern. Click on that line segment. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, but we need a total of 6 of these. So I'll double click on this 3x here, type in 6, and they're very light, but there they are. They are right there. There, you can see them now. They are blue though. So before I put in these arcs, I need to make sure that these line segments are all locked in. So I can just kind of experiment. What happens if I try to drag? Does anything happen? Oh, don't want that. Do not want that. So I'm going to undo. It looks like I can move these endpoints off the circle, which I don't want. So maybe I can try the fix tool. Can I use the fix tool on the line segment? Oh, it doesn't like that. It's red. So I'll do Control Z. I'll try the fix tool again, maybe on the points that are lying on the circle. Oh, there we go. So I just had to lock in those points. Good. So don't click OK yet. Make sure you're still in the sketch. We now need to make these circles, these arcs. So I'll make one of them. I do know I have a circle that I need to make. So I'll get my circle tool going. And I need to make a circle with radius 0.35, dimension it. But of course, we can only put in diameter. So double the radius, 0.35 times 2, it's 0.7. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know where the center is, but I do know that this circle needs to lie on this top point right here, or well, the very bottom point, and then the next lower segment. So I could use my coincident constraint and say, I want this circle to be connected to this endpoint. And then I can say again, I want this circle to be connected to this endpoint. Ooh, and now it's black, which means it's locked in. But I can trim, because I only need this arc. There's the trim tool, trim the outer circle. This is the part that I want to keep right here. Now I can use circular pattern to get this repeated around, and it almost already has it. I just need to change this to 6 because we have 6 of them. Click OK. Let's see what happens. There it is. That looks pretty good. Oh, and I closed the sketch, but there it is. Pretty cool. Last step here, extrude it. Extrude this object. How much? It doesn't say here, doesn't say there. There it is. 0.2. Extrude it by 0.2. Click OK. And that's it. You are done with this object. Looks really cool. Now, as we've done with the other parts, we are not actually done working with it. The object's done, but we have to put it into a drawing. But I do want to introduce something different that is very simple to do. That's changing the colors. How do we actually change the colors of the parts? Because so far everything has been blue, which gets a little old. So how do we change the colors? Very simple. Right over here, you have your part, which maybe I've been forgetting, we do need to rename the part as well as the document. So right-click on part 1. Click on rename. We're going to name it trigger. Right-click on that again, and then you have edit appearance. Click on edit appearance, and you can choose a new color. I'll stay consistent, and I'll choose orange. There you go. So now you have an orange part. I'm just going to practice this with another one. I'm going to go over to the spin pin. I'll rename part 1 to spin pin. I'll right-click on it again. I'm going to edit appearance. I believe this one was green. Yep, it's green. So I'll make this one, looks like a lighter green. Maybe that one. I really don't like that. Well, that works. Doesn't have to be exact. See? Makes it a lot more fun and colorful. Okay. Now let's make, now that this is all saved and done, we will make the drawing. Just like this, we're pretty much copying this page right here. So easiest way is probably to right-click on your trigger document and then click on, where is it? Maybe it's not here. Try it again. Oh, it's not here. So that's fine. We can click on plus, do create drawing, make it ANSI A. And while it's loading, I will right-click on this drawing and rename it to trigger drawing. I do want the trigger in here, so I will click on that, and I need to insert the views now. So what do I have? Well, I do have this top view. It might be named differently though. What do we have? Just make sure I have everything right. So yeah, I do have a front view. Maybe I can set that. Oh no, not that one. Maybe I could do top. Is that the correct view? Let's let it load. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is one of the views that we do need, but there's a lot of views to put in. So I'm going to make the scale really small. Maybe I can, what would 1-to-1 be like? That might be okay. Yeah, we'll do 1-to-1. So we have that one. That's perfect. And now automatically it's going to try to get me to, it says it right here, get some projected views. I do want that view on the left. I can try to get some more. No, it doesn't let me do it right now, but I do also want a, if we're calling this the top, this is a side view. I want to project again. I'll click on this part and I'll go to the right this time. Now we get the underside. So we have these 3 views right here. It looks like we have a section view as well, cutting, well, here's our cutting plane line. So a section view cutting right down the middle of this. So where we have to look into our views, and here's section view. We do have a vertical cutting plane line, so that's good. And then I can click anywhere, maybe right here. And then you have to say, do I want to go this way or this way? You do want to go to the right, just like you have it here. Good, everything's looking good so far. And then we do have some detail views. We have these 2 detail views. I don't think we've done that one yet in this series, but we'll click in our views and we'll say, I want a detail view. And what's it asking for here? I think now we have to specify the center of our detail view. So the center's right here. And how far out are we going? We can go any distance out, maybe a little bit, at least a little bit past this outer circle. That's part of this sketch. So maybe right there. Don't want to go too far because I don't want to include too much. This one should be good. Okay. Can move that down here. That should be fine. Let's see what happens if we make it the exact same scale. Is it going to be too big for us? Yes, that's too big for us. So since we're using ANSI A, they might be using a different one like ANSI B or C. It's okay if we're going to use a different scale, but typically you should copy it exactly. They didn't specify in this document, as far as I saw, the sheet size, but that's fine. How about we try 1-to-1. Gonna have some very small dimensions, but that's fine. We have a lot to fit on here. I think I'm gonna take this view. I do want to fit my isometric views up here. So I think I'm gonna take this parent view. This is the one that I put down first. So it's the parent, and I'll drag it down. Everything else follows then. And I think I have one more detail view. So I want another detail view. What's that? Well, I'll try it. The very center of this detail is at the very center of this plus. Might have to, there we go. Go all the way out, maybe to there. So yeah, it is a circle. That is okay. It's fine. We'll leave that as is, and we'll make this a smaller scale as well. We'll bring it back to 1-to-1. There. That's good. Yeah, so now we have all our views. Oh, except for the isometric view, of course. I can click on OK there. Oh, I might be able to change. Can I change it to a rectangle? Because right now it's a circle. Not that I can tell from here. We won't really worry about that. We've got a lot else to do here. So I'll do projected view, project from this parent view. Yep, that's good. I want that one. That's the same one as here. Let's see if I can project again. Maybe if I go over to the right, yep, good. So I have those two views. The only thing is I need to escape and just move them, switch them around so that they're the same. All right. We'll click OK. Now from here, this is where all the dimensioning comes in. So do remember, oh, you know what? Just so I can fit everything in, I think I'm going to move both detail views down. Oh, not that. I want to just move this detail view over here. Maybe I can move. Maybe I can move all these views down a bit more so I have lots of space for dimensioning. And I might even have room, like, yes, the notes are on the next page for this one, but I probably can fit them on this sheet just to keep everything together. Though do remember, make sure all the necessary materials are in here. Drawn by your name, the date that you're drawing this. The title is the same for everything. It's Battle Top Toy. And okay. Next line is SkillsUSA 2013. Okay. The figure name, well, it says DWG number, but the figure name is trigger. And then okay. And the scale, well, the scale automatically updates because that's whatever the parent scale is. Okay. Now let's go ahead and dimension everything. So we are dimensioning exactly as we see here. I'll start with this view. So I'll get my dimension, maybe I'll do radial dimension and deal with this circle right here. Oh, before I do that though, I'm gonna exit because you can see the precision was a little bit different. I do want to make sure you can click over here on the drawing properties on the right. This is much easier than what I did in the previous videos where I have to change every single dimension precision, but you can do that right here. The precision needs to be 0.12 because there's only 2 decimal places. The only exception is this one right here. We might have to change that manually, but that's fine. That's a lot less work. Okay, now we can close the drawing properties. We'll do this again. So dimension, radial dimension, because I have a radius right here. Which one is it? It's the second outermost one. Okay. That's it for radius. I'll do the standard dimension now. Now, something that doesn't show up are these center lines. So that I have to do myself. Here we go, 2-point center line. So top to bottom is a center. Going across, that's a center. And then we'll dimension between that. So this center line all the way down to this right here. Now this is the one here that we have to change the precision of. I'll hover over there. This is the one that needs to be 0.123 so that it has the entire dimension there. Click out of there. Good. And then we have between these 2 lines. So again, dimension between this line and this line. And then between this line and that line. I want it to be right in line like that. That's doesn't come out quite nice. Maybe can I delete that? There might be a continue. No, we have that in AutoCAD and Inventor. It might be ordinate dimension. Is that right? Oh, no, that's not right. Not right at all. Let me try one more thing with that, though. What if I did this? No, that's not what I wanted at all. Never mind. So yeah, it's going to have to maybe look a little bit messy. There are definitely ways to fix this. And that's not going to be my focus right now. We're not going to deal with tolerancing. We'll just work with the dimensions. Next view. Lots of linear dimensions over here. From this line to this line. That's one. You know what? These arrows are really big and the text is really big. Let's go into drawing properties and see if we can make the text a little bit smaller. Maybe we can make, yeah, here's the text type. Maybe I can make it 0.1. See what happens. Let's make that a little bit smaller. 0.09. Yeah, that's getting a lot better now. Let me try 0.07. That's a lot better. That fits a whole lot better. What about the arrows though? Do we have the arrow size chamfer? No. Annotations. If I do need arrow, oh, here's arrowhead. Let's make that maybe 0.12. Let's see what happens there. I don't think anything changed there. Oh, here's arrowhead. Let's try that again. 0.12. Oh, that's a lot better. That fits a whole lot better. For sure. Yeah, I think that is definitely a lot better. Is there anything else we want? Yeah, I think that's all good for now. Good. Okay, we'll close that up. Now things are going to fit a lot more nicely on here without being overcrowded. So back to dimensioning between this point and the stop line. Oh, make sure it's vertical. Good. And it looks like this one's going to be in the middle. That's it. But then we have this gap right here. Here to here. So this is obviously the more tedious of parts, but it's necessary. You have to do it. We do have to put in a center line here. So that's a center going all the way up. That's good. Then we can dimension between that center line and we actually have to put in a center mark. Center mark is for circles. There we go, center mark, and I can click on this circle right here. There's that center mark. And I probably should make a center, a full-on center line going through that. It doesn't seem to want to though, but that's okay. So I'll do dimension between that center. Why aren't you? Oh, there we go. There we go. Between that center mark point and this center line over here, that needs to be 0.95. Then we have a height between, so I'm doing that 0.6 height now. There it is. Then between that point and this point here. We do have this depth as well. I'll put that right there. We do have this length. We do have a center line through the cylinder, so let's click through here. That's good. So yes, center, we have all that. We do need a dimension for the radius. That should be good right there. And it looks like the last one on here is the angle. So the angle between the line, this line segment, and the, oh, and I do have to put in a 2-point center line here. So I have to put in a center line. Oh, but I have to actually click somewhere. So I need an angle dimension, line to line angular dimension between this center line and this line segment. That needs to be, put it right in here. Be right there. I want it right there. Maybe I can now escape and try to move. I want to move this. That's it. I want to move that out here. I think that will do. Good. I want to look at the properties again. You see how everything's black? It probably would be nice if we can change the color. Not under units. Is it under dimensions? Yeah. Let's change the color. So this is another new thing for us to do. Maybe we can change this to blue. That makes it a whole lot clearer. As for the differences, can we change the center lines as well? We should be able to. Not there. Center line, it looks like maybe center lines and center marks. Maybe we can also make that blue. Let's see if that's correct. Yeah, it does work. Cool. So that's going to make it a lot easier to see the difference between all of these clearly. Good. That's going to help with organization. So we can continue to do that from. Okay, now we can continue on. Go over the next one. Oh, a lot less over here. So let me just double check that I can't turn that. I don't think I can turn that into a square, at least not easily and quickly. To close that up now. Oh, I could actually go back and make this section line blue as well. Oh, it'd be under here. Yeah, it would probably be under, yeah, section view, cutting lines right here. Let's make that blue. I mean, you don't have to make it blue. You can make it any line you want, really. Any color you want, really, I should say. Section views, also the text. Notes. Callouts is probably callouts. Blue? No. No. Probably labels be under blue. No, never mind. I'll change that one back to black. But yeah, you can make these any colors you want. I'll keep going though. This is really making things a lot clearer. So you have the black lines being the actual object lines. And then all these blue lines being the dimensions or section views. Oh, I did forget detail views though. Where's detail? There it is. I'm gonna make that blue as well. Okay, that's fine. Okay, where were we? This one. Oh, only one dimension here, 0.9. Good, that's a nice change in pace. Oh, no, but we do need a center line going all the way across like that. Oh, that's not it. No, I did make it. Yes, completely horizontal. Wanted to make sure it was completely horizontal. This over here as well does need to be horizontal. Good, just like that. And then I can dimension between these two center lines. Good. Almost there. Okay, a few more over here. So just continuing on with dimensioning, we have between here and here. And then between here and the top there. Oh, they just make it below. Can I do between, maybe between here and here? No. So what I need obviously I need the where this I need the actual points where before the fillets where the actual corners were. So probably what I'm gonna have to do is make a line, a very temporary line. Nope. Would it have to be probably not under diameter? No. Maybe I could do it. Well, unless if any of you have an idea, let me know. But I'm going to do something I'm not really supposed to do, but you can do it. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change the actual text of the dimension. Even though it's kind of lying, I'm going to say, well, it needs to be diameter. I would have had to do this anyway. And it needs to be 0.79. So I'm changing it. There. I'll move this out, though, so that there's space. Now it shouldn't be an issue with the other ones. So between between these two. Like that. And I'm going to have to check something. So I realize I made one small mistake, and it's a very quick and easy fix. There's a little bit of a cut in there with that has a diameter of 0.43, and it's kind of shown over here. There's this ring there. So I need to just go back into my actual part real quick. Yeah, there's supposed to be a cut there. You can kind of see it maybe a little bit more clearly up here. Yeah, there should be a little edge there. So that's an easy fix. Let's make a sketch, click on that plane, right click, be normal to sketch plane. So this happens that you'll be dimensioning everything. You'll find that something didn't come out right. But typically it's a very quick fix. I just need to make a circle here. A 3 points, nope, not a 3-point circle, center point circle, diameter of 0.43. Just to be sure that I am going to be extruding a ring, I'm going to click on the Use tool, click on that circle, click OK. Then I need to extrude that ring here. I do want to remove material, but I don't want to go all the way down. It's looking like it's going to be the same height. Maybe not exactly. That could have been clearer, but it's looking like it will be pretty much the same height as this extrusion of this curved part. So I'll just extrude it down 0.2. If you on your own can figure out probably the actual correct extrusion, you can use that correct one as well. I'll click OK there. There, now that's what I was missing before. So now I can go back to the drawing. I can click on this circular update button. You can see it's going to update very slowly, I guess. There we go. So now we have that there, 0.43. Do double click on this, so because we do have to add in that diameter symbol. And then now we can actually dimension this here. Do open this and then put in the diameter symbol. Good. Just 2 more dimensions on here. Where we need to deal with between these 2 lines. And make sure that the diameter symbol's in here as well, because that is a circle. and then between here and here as well. Of course, I don't want that section label to be in the way, so I'm just going to move that down. Wow, good, cool, almost there. Just 2 more views, and then we can print it. Okay, well, zooming in. What do we have? We have to show this. I mean, this wasn't too important. But let's have a look at our dimension options. Maybe we can deal with this angle. 3-point angular dimension. That's exactly what we need between the very points of these pointy bits and the very center. So before I do that, I probably need to put in a center mark for this circle, which I just did, and some center lines. So from the very top all the way down to the very bottom, the very left quadrant to the very right quadrant. And now I can make that 3-point angular dimension between this point, and this point. Oh, okay. So as we can see, it's actually going to have us specify the vertex. The vertex is the middle point. So I'll do this again, 3-point. I have to select the very center first. I had to hover over the circle to activate that center. So that's supposed to be the vertex of the angle. And choose that point and that point. And there, now we can get our 60 degrees. Clearly, I'm going to have to put in 6x quite a few times, but I can actually do that all in one go. So I'll save that to the end. I do need, you know what, these arrows are still way too big. I'm going to change that. It's okay, it's trial and error, right? Maybe I'll bring that down to 0.07. Maybe that's going to be even better. I think that's way better. They were just way too big for this drawing. I think things are going to fit in a lot better now. We do have a linear dimension between the very center, so I have to hover over a circle to activate that. And then it looks like between this line too. So that's an aligned dimension. Well, I will have to move some stuff, clearly. It's okay, I'm going to press escape. I'll move this. I'll move that out. That's what I want. Maybe I can obviously move that right down here as well. That's much better. We have a diameter dimension for this circle here. We have a radial dimension for this arc here. We have an aligned dimension. An aligned dimension, that's your diagonal dimension, just like this one. I don't want that. Probably right down there is good. And I'll move this away because that's too much of the way. And then an angle between this line and this diagonal line. Okay, there, that's it. I want that angle right down there, but probably best for me to move this 22 out here. Did I get everything? I think I did. 0.25, 0.6, yes. Now what I'll do is I'll select everything that needs a 6x, a 6 times. So I'll click on each of these. Don't have to hold control or anything. That and that. I can hover over this and click on this front one. This is your prefix, what comes before the text. All of them are going to be 6x and maybe 2 spaces. This is it, last one. There's really not even that many dimensions over here. So we have to put in the center lines. We'll do between these 2 quadrants. and the top and bottom quadrant. And then I can just put in the dimensions. So I want a dimension between these two lines. And I want to dimension the circle. Yes, I want it to be diameter. Good. Escape. Double click on this. We do have 4 of these gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to indicate that 4 times 2 spaces. And I'll also move this out here. That's good. Wow, that's it. Oh, and the notes. But the notes are easy. Copy and paste. I won't copy trigger though, because I will fit this on this page here. Note. Put that over here. Control V. I did Control C over here. I'm doing Control V. I think I can just expand that a bit. Yeah. Wow, this is it. And this looks a whole lot nicer now, because the dimensions are a much more appropriate size. We do, and we have colors, so we can differentiate between the actual object and any of the dimensions and section lines and detail lines and so on. So do make sure though that we print this. So do menu print, and it's printed automatically. Download, and then you're going to submit this sheet right here. So good work. We have 2 more parts left, and they are challenging, but I'm hoping you have a lot of fun with this, because I mean, at least I have fun making these as much of a challenge as it is. So next time is the bottom housing. The time after that is the top housing. And then finally, we are going to have to make the final assembly, though we will potentially have to look at the springs and screws as well. So that might be a shorter extra video, but we'll see. Or maybe that will be part of the final assembly video. So 3 or 4 more videos and we're all done with it. And you know what? You could even take these, and if you have a 3D printer, you could take these objects and 3D print them and put it all together if you wanted to. So lots and lots of fun. I hope you did enjoy though, and I'll see you next time when we do the bottom housing.